CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Najahe Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Taking a live look outside, heavy storms and dark clouds are rolling in, and a flood advisory is in effect. Next, weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler has been tracking the radar. Cindy.
Yeah, just this afternoon, it waited all day to get this line of storms going because of a boundary, an outflow, or a little boundary came across from the west. We have a southeasterly flow today, so it's kind of blocked or stuck right along the coastal areas, and that's where we're picking up these showers and thunderstorms at this hour, kind of stuck in place. And these storms are very efficient at dropping some very heavy rain. So the National Weather Service has issued a flood advisory in effect until 5:30 for this part of Miami-Dade County, right along 41. 826 is included, Coral Gables, the Winchester area, Westchester area. So this is the spot here, and anywhere in here you could get as much as 1 to 2, 3 inches of rain. However, these storms have been dropping as much as 1 to 2, 3, and even 4 inches of rain per hour, beginning to die down just a little bit, but very efficient rainmakers here, as this whole line is just sitting in place at this point. So when you get these storms that sit and they don't move, then you have the possibility of flooding, and that's what we're seeing right now. So low-lying areas, all this water will run into those areas. Ground is saturated. We've had quite a bit of rain the last couple of days, so watch for those spots. So at this point, trying to make their way off the coast here. So Cutler Bay picking up some heavy rain. Downtown Miami, we've got heavy rain falling there as well. This will slowly inch its way out to Miami Beach probably over the next hour or so, and the places inland now rain-free at this point, but we've got these little boundaries now that are forming and moving to the west, so we're going to watch for that possibility as well. But look what it has done to the temperatures. 77 degrees. High today so far has been 90, so a lot of cloud cover, and the rain now has dropped that temperature, so not a real hot day. We'll get a break overnight, and then tomorrow a tropical wave coming through South Florida, so that's going to send rounds of showers and storms starting in the morning through the afternoon, even in the evening. And again on Sunday, that moisture is going to stay with us until late in the day, when it's finally going to move out of here. Drier air will start moving in, and the tropical connection here is a wave that slides across, moves into the Gulf, and then out here the National Hurricane Center is watching this for possible development going into next week. So we've got very busy tropics going on right now. And a matter of fact, this looks worse than it is. It looks almost like peanut M&Ms out here with all the color, but it's because these outlooks now go out 7 days instead of 5. So we're looking way ahead, watching each one of them. 30% chance near the Lesser Antilles, but out here in the Gulf of Mexico, that's that wave that comes across the area this weekend, giving that a 30% chance that could develop into something. So our forecast through the weekend, very wet and stormy. The next week, drier air comes in, highs in the lower 90s.
We have new information and the arrest of a suspected carjacker. He led police on a multi-county chase. Fort Lauderdale police are working to confirm if the suspect is the same person involved in a previous carjacking from this morning. We welcome CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner to the team. She has the latest on this story.
A high-speed chase northbound on Florida's Turnpike came to an end in Palm Beach County. Law enforcement confirming with us it originated here in Broward County. They say that they were after a vehicle that matched a description of an incident that happened here in downtown Fort Lauderdale overnight. They say an armed suspect approached a male in a description that matched that vehicle and took him on a ride for 2 hours, carjacked him, kidnapped him, and then battered him. They say that a similar incident happened just days prior on Saturday night, in which, again, an armed suspect approached a vehicle that had a male and a female in it, and then took off with the female in the car, sexually battered her, and again, that incident lasted for 2 hours. Law enforcement say the details between the two incidents are very similar, but they will not say whether or not they're officially connected or whether the suspect is the same. We are working on gathering more information on whether the suspect that was apprehended at the end of this recent high-speed chase down the Florida Turnpike is connected to these two incidents. We'll have more for you live at 5 p.m. on CBS News Miami.
That chase was quite a scene. Morgan, thank you for that report. And we're going to have much more on this story coming up tonight on CBS News Miami at 5 and online at cbsmiami.com. The heavily criticized head of Maui Emergency Management Agency has resigned. His exit comes just a day after he defended his decision not to activate warning sirens as wildfires swept the region. The current death toll and the disaster stands at 111, but it is expected to rise. CBS News Miami's Jordan Segundo joins us live with the details. Jordan.
Naja, thank you so much. Nearly 1,000 federal responders are on the ground here on Maui assisting in the recovery and response efforts. That says hundreds of people are still missing. Now, the FBI is urging not just Maui residents, but residents around the world who may have family members still missing to submit DNA swabs to help them identify some of the lost and missing. And there is a grim reality that more deaths will be announced, but there are signs of hope and recovery that are continuing to rise and appear all across the island of Maui. Multiple containers are parked outside the Maui Forensics Office as coroners work to identify the remains of the Maui wildfire victims.
A lot of the remains that we're finding are almost unrecognizable.
One organization helping survivors is King's Cathedral Church in Kahului, providing shelter and basic needs for people who have lost everything.
We started with just one room, and now we had such an overwhelming response with donations that is pretty much taken over all of our rooms here at the church that we have free space in.
I've heard that when people come, you guys aren't just giving them or letting them come through. You guys are creating little bags, little packets.
Yeah. So everything is sorted by size, men's, women's, children, youth.
The church says even some people who lost their homes are volunteering, wanting to do their part.
I'm just so grateful to be a part of a culture and of an island that wants to support each other.
For many Lahaina residents, the trauma of what happened is just starting to sink in.
A lot of us haven't even had time to grieve. I mean, we're just slowly getting out of the survivor mode.
They say the needs on the island are so vast, and they are preparing to stay strong for the long haul. And Naja, it will take a very long time for the community and for the entire state, for the whole world to heal from this tragedy. As you see behind me, a lot of members from the King's Cathedral Church are doing their part to give back. Now, if you are looking for some reputable organizations, be sure they are trusted before you start donating. And just a quick tip, I know a lot of people out there, even in Miami, they want to send supplies to Hawaii. If you do so, just be sure that you have someone here on Maui that will be receiving them. Don't just send them unsolicited, because the docks are getting a bit overwhelmed. Reporting live here from Maui, back to you.
Yeah, really important advice. And yesterday you shared with us that you are born and raised in Hawaii and you have family in the area. So two questions. How are you processing this tragedy, and is your family okay?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Yes, my relatives here on the island are okay. My uncle, who worked out in Kaanapali, was actually sequestered there for over a week because he had guests that they didn't want to leave at the hotel. He's doing fine, but just coming back to the island here has been absolutely heartbreaking. Flying over the island of Maui when photojournalist Brian and I arrived on Tuesday was probably the most emotional plane ride I had. Just seeing the lush green mountains, but also just knowing the pain and the hurt that these island people of Hawaii are feeling has just been absolutely heartbreaking for me. But I'm glad I'm out here to share the stories, to really get down into these areas and just show that despite the tragedy that we've been dealing with, there is still a lot of aloha, a lot of ohana, a lot of family that will help us through.
Beautiful to hear. The spirit is so strong. And Jordan, thank you for your reporting and sharing a little bit about your personal journey and covering this story. We appreciate that so much. The person in charge of Maui's emergency management has stepped down. What that means for recovery efforts on the devastated island when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. The tough housing market for would-be home buyers is only getting worse. The average interest rate for a 30-year mortgage in the U.S. reached its highest level in 21 years at 7.09%. Just a year ago, the rate was 5.13%. Not only do high mortgage rates make it more expensive to finance a home, they also make homeowners who locked in lower rates more reluctant to sell. That reduces inventory, putting upward pressure on prices. We are hearing exclusively from Cherise Gause before she is sworn in as the newest police chief of North Miami. The 50-year-old started her career with Miami Police 30 years ago. She was a dispatcher and rose through the ranks. The mother of 3 is now looking forward to her new role in North Miami. The chief says her priorities include reducing crime, recruiting more officers, and addressing mental health issues. She is the city's 15th police chief.
Taste of the Town on CBS News Miami is sponsored by Goya. If it's Goya, it has to be good. Visit Goya.com today.
It is time now for an all-new edition of Taste of the Town. A local celebrity chef has 2 popular restaurants in town. She recently revamped and reopened her 3rd restaurant. It is a tribute to her grandmother and the era in which she lived. CBS News Miami's Lisa Petrillo takes us to Amelia's 1931.
There's a lot to behold here at Amelia's 1931, a hidden gem located in a nondescript strip mall in West Kendall. The whimsical look on the outside continues inside. The entire restaurant is an homage to chef-owner Eileen Andrade's abuela, her grandmother Amelia, who worked with her grandfather in restaurants in Cuba and Miami.
And the space that we acquired actually is a dry cleaners, or was a dry cleaners. And since she was a seamstress as well, we kind of tied in that whole dry cleaner seamstress vibe.
And then you actually have dry cleaning hanging right there.
Yes, we do, and some of that is actually my grandmother's clothes.
For Amelia's 1931, the feel is an old-world speakeasy bar and restaurant with vintage trinkets, custom lamps, hand-stenciled wallpaper. It's a step back in time.
We're going to the 1930s. The music is very jazzy, bluesy. The lights are dim, the cocktails are amazing, and the food is really, really interesting.
Chef Eileen says she created something special here for her community.
I live 4 blocks away, so this is my neighborhood. So we're definitely investing in our community because this is where we grow up, and this is where I went to school, this is where my friends live, so it's very important to bring this kind of caliber restaurant to the area.
Beverage director Alex Portella conjures up some great cocktails for us at the bar.
Nice.
While back in the kitchen, Chef Eileen prepares our tasting dishes from her Latin Asian fusion style cuisine.
I mean, all these fancy dishes in this hidden gem right here is very cool.
We're trying to be that cool restaurant in the not so cool shopping center.
We begin with the escargot with umami butter and Cuban bread.
I love escargot, but that's also so different. It's an escargot I've never tasted before. It does have a kick, not too much. It's elegant. It's so stepped up and fancy, but at the same time, it's like not intimidating. It's just delicious.
Then try the spicy and creative octopus ahi panca with black bean puree and fresh herbs, before diving into these precious pillows in this dish called boniato gnocchi with cream sauce and toasted panko and herbs.
Soothing, kind of comfort food with elegance. Again, everything seems to have a little bit of a kick, but not too much.
We always like to have something sweet and spicy in our dishes to really bring that umami in.
Back to my snails. I mean escargot, Eileen. Tell everybody how many days you're open here at Amelia.
We're open Tuesday to Sunday, and we have late night happy hour Friday and Saturday.
All right, with a fantastic Taste of the Town here in West Kendall, I'm Lisa Petrillo, CBS News Miami.
Love it. That looks very cool. Amelia's 1931 is located at 13601 Southwest 26th Street in West Kendall. And we have some extra ingredients about this popular spot on our website. Just go to cbsmiami.com to check it out. The power of CBS News and the Miami Stream are always at your fingertips. We're on Pluto TV, and the best part is it is free. You can also find us on your favorite streaming device with the CBS News app, then click CBS News Miami. That's your Quickcast. I'm Najahe Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great day.